Hello, this is Malorian, and this will be a team game, 35 points each, with my Epic Magnus teamed up with Epic Vlad, up against Epic Kaya and the Old Witch. So the game we got was the supply and demand, and so what you need to do is get 5 points. To get points, you either have to control the zone for 1, dominate it for 2, you can destroy the opponent's objective for 1, or dominate for 2. And then you can use your own to get free runs and charges. Now, on our side, from left to right, what we have is Max Handgunners, then Black Ivan being run by Cold Unlord, some of those Manowar guys, then my Max Idrians with UA, Kale Baylock, or in Midwinter, a Mangler, Epic Magnus. He has his Winter Guard Death Star. Then I have my Min Cutthroats on the right, and he has the War Dog, Epic Vlad, Drago, and a whole bunch of mechanics over there. For the opponent, they're pretty much divided up left to right. So on the left, the circle player has Epic Kaya, and she has Laris, she has an Argus, she has a Stalker, she has a Gorax, and actually what looks like a Feral is actually going to be a Pureblood. He also has 2 units of stones, one with the UA. He also has whatever little UA solo type guy is that can go around, do the blast, and basically he's the one that puts on Hunter's Mark. And then farther to the right he has the Lore of the Feasts, which is going to be my first prey target. For the Kador player, he has first some Widowmakers with the Marksman. He has then of course Old Witch with the Scrapjack, has the Beast of 9, then he has a whole bunch of the Assassins there with UA. He also has some Eliminators on the far right, and then I can't remember what those guys are called in the front, so I'll have to look it up, but yeah, there's them with their UA. So looking at this here, we decided to go first, he picked side, and when we're deploying down, what I decided to do is I'm really good at controlling zones, so I was going to go for the zone. I had first put the long gunners on the left, knowing that I could redeploy them, but the way it turned out I didn't need to. And then on the right, I figure, with all his armor and the big punch, he can go and destroy that objective. And between the two things, we should be able to pick off the scenario win. One of the things that obviously was really bad for this matchup is that he has a lot of stuff with stealth. Obviously, the entire army for the circle is pretty much stealth. Oh, and sorry, he also has Yuri the Axe on the far left as well. And then, of course, there's all the assassins. And yeah, it's just really bad news. So it wasn't going to be a good matchup. I only left my handgunners on the left so that I could actually shoot some stones and stuff. But it's going to be tough, but I think we can pull it off if we stick to the plan. Alright, and to explain the plan a little bit better, and by the way, that one solo, that's the Blackclad. But anyway, really on here on the left, I really don't see it going well. He has his entire army here, and we just have a small portion. And really, that's actually part of the plan, is that we're just going to try and be defensive here. So, I'm not actually saying this, but the way I'm actually going to force on my opponent is marching up with my lung gunners and kind of blocking him in. What that's actually going to do tactically is that if he goes and pushes up too much, then he'll have to try and kill my long gunners, and then his demo core and Black Ivan can counter, so hopefully that can do some good damage in return. But if we can just slow him down, that would be great, and if worse comes to worse, destroy our own objective so that he can't be dominating it. And then otherwise, I have my usual thing where I'm going to be going up and try and hold this zone. I mean, between all my Idrians and stuff, I think that won't be a big deal. I'm going to run up first turn, I'm going to pop my feet, his stuff is going to run into me, and then I can counter and kill a whole bunch. His Winter Guard will be great for doing sprays to try and do some help there. But the biggest thing is, I don't know if he actually will be able to fight through all those assassins to get to that objective. But, either way, if we're taking all of his assassins to try and get to Vlad, who will be fully camped, we should be fine. At least that's tying that all up, and he can just slowly make his way there. The main thing is that it's going to be critical that I hold the middle zone, and that we really make a lot of headway on this right side before the circle finish their job and come across. So we get first turn, and pretty much everything's zipping up. I put up mobility, charge up, run up, And for the most part, that's really it. I mean, we don't want to push up too far on the right, or else he can start getting some early charges on us. And I'm hoping I can get some shots on the Doom Reavers with my Cutthroats before I get too tied up with his Assassins. But otherwise, I think he puts on the spell on the Winter Guard so that they can roll 3 dice, drop the lowest. I can't remember what it's called right now. But that's really all we really do this first turn. And here's just a kind of a focus on the center, and this is where I really think it's wonderfully set up, because with my mini feat popped on the Idrians, I'm defense 19 right now, so he's not going to be able to do anything to me between us and the Winter Guard. Unless he pops his feet to keep us in place, we'll be able to go through and just, kill whatever he throws in our face, take the zone, and if he does pop his feet, then at least we can shoot him. So we'll have to see which way he goes with it. A big thing that wasn't part of the plan, though, was that he starts doing his stuff, does some shots, kills one of the Idrians, no big deal, and then just runs up to tie me up. This is exactly like I planned, nothing wrong here. However, then he reminds me that his guys are actually abominations or whatever, and that means I need to take a terror test, or leadership test. And I fail, I roll a 10, and so that means now my entire Idrian unit can do nothing next turn. It's just, that's just devastating. Otherwise, his turn looks like this. Mainly for the circle player, he was just zipping up on the left, has up Shadow Pack, so no shooting there. His Lord of the Feast is in there, so he can kill stuff later. And man, normally he'd be screwed, but because of the way things are, he's just fine. Otherwise, I was surprised that the Assassins didn't move up. The Eliminators moved up to be within that building there on the right, but the Assassins stayed back. And I think the main thing there is there was no reason for them to do anything else. They don't want to be caught with some early spells. He didn't actually have up Iron Flesh on them right now. He actually put Iron Flesh up on the Marksman to try and help them, because that came up before I failed my test. But yeah, this is definitely going to make things in the center very difficult. Our turn 2 then, I have my Lung Gunners move up. It was mainly just to try and keep them away, to make sure that they couldn't very easy get into the objective while we're just holding back. I was also hoping to get a shot into something there so we can combine into the Argus, and I actually missed. That was kind of a mistake. I should have shot into the stone, but whatever. Meanwhile, his guys are just falling behind. My Idrians pass their test, so I can at least do something next turn. And then the Winter Guard go up. Now, they're having a little bit of trouble because he'd put up that Crow's Feast there that really blocked them in. But he still was able to get a lot of sprays. And the big thing I was hoping that he'd kill a lot of the Doom Reavers and also do some damage to that Lord of the Feast. Now, unfortunately, after they were all done, they hadn't killed too much and the Lord of the Feast was still alive. But actually, it turned out that when I looked at it, it was pretty good because I had a clear charge in with Epic Magnus. So I was able to cast mobility, charge in, kill him, pop my feet, and this is where it was really tough because normally I'd say, okay, you can't move towards my edge, you can't move towards yours, but he still had this one Doom Reaver left on the right. And I thought, we can figure out how to kill him. Nah, it didn't happen. Orin Midwinter came up, he missed his shot, so I'm going to take the one hit, I should be fine, and then I can start dominating. Unless he runs something into the zone, and then we can counter and go from there. But I'm still feeling okay at this point. On the far right, we're moving up a little bit cautiously again. I just move up to take a few shots. I just don't want him to get charged by all these assassins. But, for what our turn was, and with having no Idrians, it was alright. And here's kind of a close-up of my ballsy move, and everything you can see here is I've actually started painting a lot of my stuff. But the big thing here is, you could kind of look at this. My opponents were kind of surprised. Even my a partner was surprised. But this is really the way you need to run Epic Magnus, I've learned. You have to be aggressive. You have to be in there. You have to pop these feats and score those control points. And really, it was really too bad that we couldn't get that Doom Reaver out of there, because then, if he didn't run over an assassin or something, then I could be scoring on his turn, dominating on our turn, and that's 4 points if he doesn't run something in. But as it is, he didn't have enough around to kill me. I'm going to take some damage, but I should be okay, and I can always run away after. However, it did not work as well as I'd thought. The big thing that really changed everything here is, he had his... as best as he could, he had his Widowmaker shoot at me, really didn't do anything at all. Then the Doom Reaver charged in, and he just rocked that dice roll. I mean, he's a charging weapon master, so it's going to hurt, but there were a lot of 5s and 6s in there. Basically left on 5 hit points, thought I'd still be able to live, but then the pure blood had just enough to come over, get me in a spray, barely hit me, and then did enough to kill me. And even though I'm kind of out of the game, I'm still in it because a lot of my force is troops. So me still have an okay chance of pulling something off, but it's going to be pretty damn tough. So on this side of the table, we really got our butts kicked. He came in, killed off almost all of our guys, and then the big thing that was a saving grace, though, is he decided this to be Epic Kaya's turn. So even though he came in and killed pretty much everything we had, then he pops his feet and all of his stuff moves away again. So whereas he could have been in our face and really taking over this side of the board, also now in our turn we can be killing off Yuri and pretty much just going and being able to consolidate and hold on for another turn, because of course it's not like he can charge us from there. And yeah, I mean, that was kind of a lot of luck, I thought. And on this side of the board, other than killing Epic Magnus, which we talked about, he put that one Crow's Feast there thing again, so that, I mean, it's really bogging us down. I mean, I was really worried it was going to be combined with the feat to be killing lots of guys, but this is really doing its job to keep the Winter Guard away. Anyway, on the right, the assassins are now dedicating themselves, and they were really just running in. I mean, they didn't kill anything, they just ran in. But the big thing he did was he went and spaced out them so that he could be putting iron flesh on the assassins. So now they're just really, really hard to hit. And now we're so gummed up there, it's going to be pretty hard to get through there with Epic Vlad. And then, of course, we have to be really careful because we have the Eliminators behind us. Our turn 3 then, and yeah, sorry, in the last picture the Black Cloud wasn't there because he had broke him, but anyway, I was able to kill Yuri, and I think one of the biggest mistakes is that he decided to push up. At the time, it didn't seem like a bad idea, but you'll find out soon why it was. Otherwise, my Idrians were able to do something. Hooray! And so we were able to go in there. I mean, no, now those Widowmakers are in big trouble. I'm all over them now, so that was good. I've actually moved over my prey target to the Old Witch just to kind of scare her and hopefully push her away a little bit. And on this side, we're able to clear out the zone and score a control point, so that's something. But otherwise, we kill a couple of the assassins, and that's really it. And I mean, I was really worried about how we were going to try and protect Vlad, and my partner did his best to be moving his mechanics in a way that could protect him so that the assassins really didn't have a place to land. But the way I saw it, his assassins are just going to go in, kill the one at least, and the dog, and then he should be able to get 2 eliminators in there. And unfortunately, in order to kill the 2 assassins with the Vlad, he used like almost his entire stack. So if he's going to get assassinated, it's going to be right now. So his turn 3, and this is where we learn why we were too far up, because between being able to put on Dogpile and also the Hunter's Mark from the Blackclad and all that stuff, he's able with the Stalker to charge from all the way over there, and for going for Berserk, he just kills tons of guys. So, I mean, we lost 2 Demo Core guys that we probably shouldn't have, and then otherwise he shifts over, and between him and some of the other guys, kills a whole bunch of my Idrians. I fail my test again. The only good news is that Ord Midwinter is being a champ, and nobody can hit him, but yeah, just bad news over here. And on this side, he just completely whipped. I mean, he has half Jack in the zone, so it's not another point, but really what happened is that the assassins charged in and did like nothing. They didn't kill the dog, they didn't kill the guy, and so that meant the Eliminators couldn't get to Vlad. You can see that one tried getting to the rear, but was just out when we measured it. The other one went after the dog in spite and also missed. So, whew, this is exactly what we needed. And what we could do now is just move my guys out of the way, and then Vlad could start going towards the zone. However, after this all happened, he moved over Old Witch, popped his feet, and then moved over Beastonine. And one of the things I thought then as well, if we can destroy Beastonine, we have this side. I mean, we pretty much need to go for it, but I mean, it's a dire straits right now anyway. Our turn 4 then, we just go for it. So my Kel Balok picks off 2 points off him. All of the Winter Guard go in, and we made some mistakes here. First of all, He tried maximizing to get enough guys to shoot. He really didn't need it though, probably with his 10-inch range, but that got 3 of his guys killed by the feet. When then he went and combined shot into Beast of 9 and rolled piss poor for damage. So that was unfortunate. I moved some guys out of the way so that he can get through. The cool thing that I loved is that Crow went and killed the underboss, so that was nice. But the main thing is in comes Vlad, starts smashing on him, and just isn't enough. I mean, when I was first looking at this, I mean, I'm not a Kador player, but I know that Vlad is amazing. It turns out that eVlad is not so amazing, and in the end, he left him with his axe destroyed and I think his movement out, but he still had his cortex in his left arm. Just one more damage would have taken out the cortex, and that means, well, we're screwed. And then otherwise, we're trying to smash this half-jack here, or scrap-jack, but the problem is that my Mangler just can't hit, and then I have 2 tokens on Orin Midwinter at this point. I boost to hit, I hit, boost damage, do no damage. So much for that. Not that it really matters at this point. And yeah, I forgot to take a picture of it, but really the Eliminators charge Vlad in the back, do tons of damage, and I can't remember if that does it or if Beast 09 does it, but the main thing is that Vlad dies, and that's the game. So victory to Circle and to Kador, and I think the big thing here, the number one reason for this game going the way it was really the failed check on the Idrians. I mean, the way that we had our battle plan and the way that we had all of our matchups and stuff, I mean, sure, it's not ideal having long gunners look at, a stealth battle group or having a whole bunch of assassins up against, Vlad and stuff, but I think in the end, it could have really worked. The main thing is just as soon as I failed that Leadership 9 test, or Command 9 test, that just changed everything. Because, I mean, if they would have activated, they could have easily cleared out the zone for me, killed even the, the Lord of the Feast for me. No problem whatsoever. The Widowmakers would have been already having people on their face and dying. I could have already done a big shot into his Beast of 9 early. I was all set up so that next turn Mangler could go and charge and finish off his Beast of 9. It's just everything was in place, and that little swing and really, well, the other part of that too is just my mistake. If I would have picked the 2 board edges so that he can't come towards me and can't come towards the left, then his guy couldn't come to me. The real reason why I did that is, of course, like I said, I was hoping his last guy would die, and I was also trying to make sure, like I said, my Mangler is matched up with Beast of 9, and I wanted to make sure I could take that out before, after I lose my feet. I don't really have any control over this anymore. So, but anyway, that's the way it went. Everybody still seemed to have lots of fun, so that was great. And, it's one of those things where even though my caster died right away, we still were a threat and things were still going okay, right? It's not like as soon as one caster died, the game was just over. But there you go, a loss for Magnus. I guess I should have left him unpainted. No, just kidding. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.